Blessed love to each and everyone. Honorable Priest Isaac here. Just would like to take a moment to introduce you to this Strong's, what they call this week's revolutionary gift cards. And we're speaking of the Strong that is beginning on Sunday, the 4th of August 2019. So these are the cards for this week. And for those who do not know exactly what the revolutionary gift cards are all about, well, these are produced by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Listen to me good. Every Strong, we create 5 cards. We have a package of 5 cards. So if you go through the archives, you will see the 5 cards for the previous Strong, what people call last week. Now we have 5 new cards for this Strong, again beginning the week of the 4th of August 2019. Here we have card number 6, Marcus Messiah Garvey. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you, as you could see blended with the black tiger. Remember, these are gift cards, greeting gift cards. You could order the cards for yourself, but of course they have been designed for you to order them and give them out as gifts to your friends and to your loved ones. We highlight Kwame Nkrumah for this Strong. He's saying that I am not African because I was born in Africa, but because Africa was born in me. As you can see, well designed, and of course the message is always there, the information is always clear, and of course the eternal love card. It conquers all. As I said, you could get this card as a gift for someone, a friend, a companion, that special one, whatever the case is. Eternal love, it conquers all. In fact, the card itself says it all. And then of course we cannot forget Mother, the love of Mother, my defender, my protector, my sustainer, my mother. Thank you, Mama. And this is a wonderful card that you could send for your mother. I'm sure she would be delighted in it. And of course we also have motivational cards as well. It's only after you've stepped outside of your comfort zone that you'll begin to change, grow, and transform. So we have 5 brand new cards once again for this Strong. As I said, card number 6, Marcus Messiah Garvey with the black tiger, any leadership. And card number 7 would be Kwame Nkrumah, I'm not an African because. And card number 8 would be Eternal Love, it conquers all. Card number 9, of course, Thank You Mama, she's your defender. And the card number 10 for this Strong is our motivational card. It's only after you stepped out of your comfort zone. So for those who do not know, each of these cards, they're only $2 each. $2. So if you want the Eternal Love card for that special one, all you have to do is to contact us, Priest Isaac 27@gmail.com, and we'll send it to you via the email. You'll get it in your inbox, and then you utilize the card in whatever way you want, because you don't only have to send it to that special someone. You could use it as your wallpaper. You could use it for your cover page, whatever it is. You could use it for your profile picture. You could just send it out randomly to all your friends and all the contacts you have on your email. It is quite okay. That is not a problem at all. Or you could get the full package of 5 cards for only $10, and payments can be made via the PayPal. And of course, you're also free. Keep in mind, every Strong, what they call every week, we will be coming out with 5 fresh new cards, revolutionary gift cards. So of course you can see that the standard of the work is definitely up there. So you can also make your monthly subscription, your weekly subscription, or as I said, it is up to you. You could buy the cards one by one daily. You could get the cards from the previous strong, what they call last week, and the archives will be always there. So as I said once again, you contact us, priestisaac27@gmail.com, and get your revolutionary greeting cards. Blessed love.
As long as I can remember, when I was a baby, I don't know what I saw first. My mama, my papa, or this Jesus. Now, he's the one I know and love. So let's close the subject.
Yeah, we definitely.
To give thanks.
Life giver and keeper of life. Blessed love, honorable prince and princess.
Blessed love.
Yes, yes. So we're going to have a wonderful program, and definitely give thanks to all our listeners, all our subscribers. And let me just say, blessed to all the subscribers, Definitely we sent out a call just a few days ago as, well, I'm not going to go into all the details here, but as it relates to our mission with Greencastle Hill, for those who know I'm speaking to them, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So it don't make sense for me to go over all of that. They got their own specific message, and those, well, a few responded, and I must say, we got to give thanks for all our loving subscribers who understand the mission that we are about, and understand and overstand what we're doing, Brothers like Mike and David, and of course Cephas and all these ones, Amin, and we're very thankful for the love, the bear himself, the different, talking about Brother Mark and all our, those who stay close to us, Brother Sherwin, and even touching Gabriel Day in Switzerland, give thanks for reaching out, and those who came forward, because it's a serious work we're doing here in Antigua, as it relates to saving a monument, a hill. Imagine you trying to save a hill. You ever hear anything like that? You trying to save a whole hill, and not just a regular hill. I think we've done enough works that the people understand the importance of Greencastle Hill to the world. Not just a hill, not a pretty hill and nice hill and a historical hill. No, man. We're talking a cosmological hill. That's the right word. Well, at least an astronomical hill. I know that's the right word for sure. Linking with the heavens and the movements of the stars. And yeah, we have a wonderful hike that we are doing this Sunday to Greencastle Hill. You just did a nice poster.
Yeah.
Our graphic designer here for the 21st day of July, It's pity that we're doing it on a radio style. Maybe we can send it to our subscribers so they can see your graphic works, Now, with respect to R7 Designs.
At the same time.
R7 Designs, man. Remember to check out R7 Designs, for all of your mighty, works, what stuff you do, your graphic designs, You're going to be hearing more about R7 Design. Don't worry, as ones would see that we haven't done any of the Mind Your Business program for the last 2 strongs, I think it was. But yeah, about that, maybe 3. But of course, the enormity of the works that we are doing, and we have different things that we must portray. And this is why I always tell even my listeners, they must understand, especially the YouTube listeners, they must comprehend, this is it's like Moses on the top of the mountain, man. When they said Moses lifted his hand up high, I don't know if you know that story. Moses lifted his hand up high, and Joshua and Caleb and all the brothers were down in the valley fighting off I think it's the Amalekites. If it's not them, it's somebody else, but they were fighting them off. And according to the scripture, the Lord said, once Moses keeps his hand up in the air, his arms up, we will win the battle. But the battle was going on for a whole day. So, after a while, Moses, as strong as he was like, wow, this is getting hard, man. So Moses started to drop his arms, and the Israelites started to lose the battle until Aaron and Hur came and lifted up his arms. And Hur is not a woman, it's a man. you know, but yet still in the allegory of the words, her could be her. But you see, we haven't even reached that stage yet, you know what I mean? Because there's a trinity of people up on the hill, Moses, Aaron, and her. You know, I wonder if you get me. Her is spelled H-U-I. Her is a man, a male figure in the Bible. So the three of them, but it's like a trinity, Moses, Aaron, and her. You get it, man? But anyway, but the point is, you know, Moses needed somebody to keep his hands up, keep his arms up for the rest of us to win the battle. You understand? So that's really what it is. We all got to work together to win the battle, you know. So even as far as the Mind Your Business program, that's a program that, you know, in a sense, we depend on people to send us their products, you know, their advertisements, you know, and that is lacking, I must say, amongst those who have the ability to participate. I wonder if we're not business people. I wonder if we are not producing anything. As I said, just advertise with us and we'll put it forward for free and mind your business. But anyway, let's stick to the business at hand. This evening, I just wanted to touch upon, I say I call it good times.
Well,
but go ahead.
The song doesn't have no good times in it, though.
Well, the series in general. I'm going to touch upon a bit of the good times, but not just good times alone, but just the whole sitcom era and what it meant. Now, we did a program months ago on Sanford and Son. And yes, it may be months ago, but we ain't going to try to refresh it now because we did the program. I think we did a YouTube video for that too, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it with the African?
Yeah, right. And in that Sanford and Son, which is the top of the tops of all these shows, Sanford and Son. I don't think none of them can compare. No, man, the Cosby, the Good Times, the Jeffersons, what else they have? Well, yeah, Trees of Company. I don't know if this was in your time. But anyway, in this episode of Sanford, he was styled as an Ethiopian king. Remember, he got the shield. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ancestry. He said that his ancestry come from Africa and Ethiopia somewhere.
Exactly, somewhere. Exactly, that's exactly how he said it. His ancestry came from somewhere up there in Ethiopia. His mother told him that. And Esther came in, interestingly, and she added the flair of the Bible with it. And what Aunt Esther did, she sort of added, you know, the biblical touch to it. Because on his shield, there was a quote-unquote Jewish star. She was saying that this Jewish star represented the fact that he must be a king of the Jews, because there was a crown and the Jewish star and all of that. But as I said, we did a whole audio on that. Our subscribers would know what that's about. Those in the subscription team who have never heard that program, you could just, you know, tell me and I could send you the program. In fact, as I said, we did a program on YouTube. That's on YouTube. Yeah. So you could go on YouTube and just type in Sanford and Son and Priest Isaac, and I'm sure that's what's going to come up. And that program goes in detail. We also touched upon when Lamont was going African, and what's his name? Sanford made a statement about Haile Selassie's closet. We got to check these things out. Haile Selassie's closet. There was another episode of Sanford and Son where he clearly mentioned the date, the 23rd of July. You understand? And now he's an Ethiopian king, a king of the Jews, a descendant of the Falashas. And yet still within the program, the episode of the Sanford and Son, you still pick up that whole vibes of us not connecting to ourselves. Because we got to keep in mind, you know, you have to understand history. Just before we went into this program, I was showing my youths who were right here with me how hip-hop evolved from the time of Bobby Bird and James Brown and how their music evolved into the whole science of sampling from the days of Cool Herc with the old reggae. Reggae too, you know, reggae have a lot to do with hip hop. Eh? You cannot separate reggae from hip hop. A lot of people don't know that. You could ask KRS-One. So I'm saying it's good to understand history when you deal with the subject area. Now, the black man and black woman's history, particularly in the United States of America, is very important when it comes to these sitcoms that some of us grew up on. So there was a time when the sitcom was Green Acres. I don't know if you know Green. Anyway, let me not sing it for you. Green Acres. You had Mr. Ed. You know Mr. Ed, the talking horse. Your Beverly Hillbillies. You know Beverly Hillbillies. Jed and Granny Clampett and these ones. You had Leave It to Beaver. I don't think you're that familiar with Leave It to Beaver. You had the Little Rascals. You may know about the Little Rascals. And you had all of these predominantly white sitcoms. Black and white, to be honest, as far as, you know, the color of the television at the time. Black and white. But then now coming into the more, you know, into the 60s and 70s, or the 70s specifically, you had Amos and Andy, two big comedians. Oh, I forgot to mention the Honeymooners. I was always a big Honeymooners fan, you know. But that, all of that is white people. Amos and Andy is black people. But you see, when Sanford and Son hit the scene, brother, man, it was a different thing altogether. Now, I'm showing you. Remember, Quincy Jones and so have a lot to do with Sanford and Son, you know. As well as, what's his name? Peter Baldwin. So these are individuals who are well known in society, especially in the black society, even amongst the time of the civil rights movements. I want y'all to listen to me good, eh? Red Fox. This is so mystic because remember, it is his father. Red Fox, his real name is Sanford, you know. He was the one that changed it to Red Fox. Added an extra D to the red and an extra X to the fox. And if you listen to his stand-up comedy shows, you'll see why he has all those X's in his name. But Red Fox, a lot of people don't know his father's name was actually, I think it's actually Fred G. Sanford for real. So when you see he talking about he's Fred G. Sanford, in a sense it's like he's bringing his father back to life. Red Fox used to hang out with another Red. I think they called him Boston Red. What they used to call Malcolm X? Something of the sort. Malcolm X and Red Fox were brethren. Fred Sanford, I talking. Malcolm X and Fred Sanford were brethren. They used to roll together. So in a sense, they had a similar foundation. They saw the same things. Now I'm saying that to say, outside of the Ethiopian episode, and the King of the Jews, and Lamont Goes African, and Haile Selassie Briefcase, and whatever else, the 23rd day of July, and all these different things you would hear Sanford mention. Remember the episodes, we haven't brought this to the people yet, we'd have to show them this, where you saw the Buddha, you know, we've seen it.
And the Anubis.
And the
Nefertiti.
We have highlighted the Anubis and the Nefertiti in the program we did before. But what I'm speaking of now is the program with the Buddha and the Swami and the Marcus Garvey. All mentioned in one program, directly one behind of the other. And when the Swami walked in the room and sat down in the lotus position, and you could see the Buddha ornament in the kitchen. I said, now look at this. So obviously cameras and so had to be aligned to make sure that this shot was perfect, that the Swami in the Buddha position, and you have a Buddha statue, because remember it's a junkyard. You know? So they have all kind of quote unquote junk there. Dr. Garvey said, and who's this Dr. Garvey? That's the first and the last time Dr. Garvey was mentioned in the episode. I'm telling you. So the point I'm coming at is that there's a level of consciousness, you hear me, in even Sanford and Son. And this is very key what I'm going to say. We put a video up on YouTube a few nights ago dealing with the white-faced black mass. I think that's what we entitled it. But that's a program we did a long time ago when we were talking about, on the shock of the hour, when we were talking about the theater in the United States of America, where white people would blacken up their face and come out and pretend to be Negroes and, you know, just basically making fun of us. And then after a while, we would do it ourselves and make fun of our own selves, you know, until, well, we're still making idiots of ourselves up to this day, even in the comedy world. That's why I kind of look cross-eyed at them comic business, you know. But I'm saying that we're talking, remember, we're coming out of slavery. You can't forget this. We're coming out of slavery. Less than 100 years after slavery in the U.S., Martin Luther King and the other people there, 39ers, or, you know, 39ers is, I think that's antique in history. But Martin Luther King, nonetheless, and the civil rights leaders of the time, when they were really pushing their agenda, that was less than 100 years after Abraham Lincoln said, set the Negroes free. And for those who celebrate the, I think they call it the Juneteenth celebration, they know that when Abraham said that, it was several years after that it really became a reality, because it took a while to get around. That wasn't the day when you had, you know, I mean, you could just text the message to somebody or send a WhatsApp. No, man, this was horse and carriage and paper, and for that to get around the US, that the Negroes are free. That people that born and dead when the Negroes are free and never taste the freedom because the message didn't reach to their place in time. So you have to comprehend the state of even the US at this time. You see, this time that you even born in this world, you born, we born, all of us come into this world as such. And whatever we see, we get accustomed to what we see. But that's why it's important to study and read and observe and understand what was before today and what was before yesterday and what was before last week and last year, 10 decades ago, 100 years, 200 years ago. What was the place like? And then you could kind of understand why these sitcoms now have certain undertone messages. Because after Sanford and Son, when we went into the realms of good times, then we went into the realms of the Jeffersons, then we went into the realms of the Cosby. All of this time is like a message preparing you for Barack Obama. You say, what? Yeah. And when I say Barack Obama, not necessarily him alone, I just use that as like a broad brush, preparing you for a specific time. So from the extremely hilarious and humorous junkyard in Watts, Junkman and his son living together in a house with their old red pickup, then they transition us to good times. That's why you see some of the actors from Sanford gone over to good times. These are Roman actors, I guess. And now good times is in an apartment in the ghettos of Chicago. And that's a whole different story. That's some real bad times. Oatmeal every morning. You know what I mean? And holes in the socks. Holes in the underwear. And things are always hard. They always almost get evicted. And then the Jeffersons now. You know, just moving on up, kind of give you a little boost now. Moving on up to, and George Jefferson with his little harp. They're still in an apartment, but they're a little bit richer. You know, he has a cleaning business. You know, we admire this, you know, we actually look up to this. And then, of course, the Cosbys. Oh, we have reached the top of Mount Everest now. Our father is a doctor. Mother is a lawyer. Oh my gosh. All the kids going to college. Oh, he couldn't get no better than that. That's why I say preparing us for Barack Obama. You don't understand how these people deal with us psychologically. How they mind bend us. But now before we go to good times, one thing I want to highlight again about Sanford and Son. If you notice all throughout Sanford, that's why I know, because he personally, that was his show. If you watch the biography of Red Fox or anything like that, you would know that he, especially in the episodes with Lamont, what's the man name? Damon Wilson, Red Fox, really was the boss. He had the hand in the production of what was going on there. So all these jokes he was making about white people to their face, I know we overlook that, and we may have him just like a regular comedian, like a Richard Pryor, that's another one, and a Eddie Murphy, no disrespect to them neither. But for you to be looking in the face of a white actor and refer to them as ugly, you know how much white woman Fred Sanford said they're ugly in Sanford and Son? Oh, ugly white woman. Ugly white woman. You crazy? Do you understand just a decade before that? Not even a decade before that. During them times there, they were lynching Negroes for even whistling at a white woman. You forget about Emmett Till? You see how they deal with Emmett Till? Up to now, we don't even know what he really did to the white woman. We don't even know what he really said up to now. And here you have national television, top-rated program, black and white just turned to color. And you disrespecting white people? That was Red Fox, live. In fact, this is a little clip. I just want you to hear this. This is a little clip taken from the episode entitled Potluck, where Lamont bought this commode.
Yeah, commode.
And Sanford is gonna ask him, I think he asked if he got it from a white woman, and he said yes. He said, ugly white woman, and he said yes. And then he said naturally. And when he said naturally, he said it like under his breath, but it was said naturally. You crazy? And you may say, wow, now that you put it that way, that was very bold. He's lucky they didn't lynch him. What? He's lucky that they lynched him. I said, go and watch his biography. They lynched Red Fox. Red Fox died broke, brother. That's lynching. IRS came and took everything. That's how they lynch their Negroes. They don't do it. It's not all the time. They've evolved, you know. Yeah. Willie Lynch taught them how to do it better. They didn't have to hang nobody no more on trees. They know how to deal with you. So you have all these millions playing around with and all these ladies, and you ain't paying your taxes. You just slip up. We know how to deal with you. And they dealt with him. Listen to it. Listen.
That's Kimona. This is a commode. And it's from the early 1800s, Pop. I checked it out.
And you paid $20 for it?
Yeah, that plus a couple of balloons for this lady's kids that I bought it off of.
White woman?
Yeah.
Ugly?
Yeah.
Naturally.
That's it. And if you notice, when he said naturally, there wasn't really a laughter. Because this is a live audience. There wasn't really a laughter. And that could be that even the audience may not have really grasped what he said. It's one of them Michael Jackson moments, which sounds nice, but you don't really pick up what he was saying.
Plus a couple of balloons for this lady's kids that I bought it off of.
White woman?
Yeah.
Ugly?
Yeah.
Naturally.
Look.
See? And a picture of Jesus. See the Jesus picture right there? And I mean, everything, you know, as I said earlier, the Anpo, the Anubis, and the Nefertiti. Look at the Nefertiti right there. Look at the Jesus picture. See?
I said yes.
The Nefertiti is right there. The Jesus pictures is just there on the other side. And I mean, it's so many different energies right here. even in this room. But speaking of Jesus now, how we began the program.
JJ Black and Jesus painting.
From Television City in Hollywood.
And it's interesting, you know, the man that plays James here, John Evans, still around, you know, another conscious man. Because in good times, you know, you have Michael, that's brother Ralph Carter, who is still up to this day a conscious brother. Ralph Carter, a conscious brother. Just the other day they named, I think it's in the African Square Day in Harlem, one of them streets adjacent to it or something, they named it after Dr. Ben. I've never been to Harlem like that, so I can't tell you, but I know the brothers there, Honorable Priest Jermaine and the other brethren. I think they had a 1st of August or 25th of May service right there in the African Square region, if that's what it's called there in Harlem. I think that's the same area they had the celebration for renaming Dr. Ben, the street in the name of Dr. Ben. Brother Ralph Carter was there. I think he gave a lecture too. So he's still a conscious brother. And he's portrayed in good times as a conscious youth. Has on his red, black, and green, the Pan-African movement, the NAACP. And this episode now, as you say, there's the episode about the Black Jesus painting. A lot of people may have seen it. But before we go into that, let's dissect the music again. Yeah, anytime you need a payment. What's the second thing they say?
Anytime you need a friend.
Oh, that's it.
I think it was
something like that. I have it written down, but I mean, I don't have the writing in front of me, but let's go. Yeah, anytime you're out from under, not getting hassled, not getting hustled.
Hustle and hustle.
I'm telling you. I always like to hear that part here. Keep reading, because this stuff bring back enough memories to me. Believe me, man. Yeah, when I hear this, it just remind me of watching this alone in the living room, but after school. Imagine that.
So, keeping your head on the water.
Keeping your head above water. Making a wave when you can. You know, it's all about the struggle. It's the struggle. This is a struggle song. Keeping your head. That's why the Jefferson song is "We're moving on up to the heights, to a deluxe apartment in the sky." Well, we're moving on up. You know, fish don't burn in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill, whatever they say. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up this hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, and it's our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. So we are moving on up. That's the Jeffersons, you know? Right. Good times ain't saying this. Keeping your head above water. Making two ends meet. I'll just put that in. Living paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes Brother James don't even get his paycheck. That's why they're always crying. That's why, you know what I mean? Temporary laid off.
Good times.
Good times, brother.
Easy credit,
Easy credit
rip off.
and rip off.
Have to be bad times.
Good times.
Good times. Scratching and surviving.
Oh man, that's like the word. Scratching and surviving. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard, brother. Scratching and surviving. I think that one is hanging in and jiving. Good times. Ain't we lucky we got him? Wow. Are you kidding me? Yeah, he is a pig. No.
again.
You're still listening to the listeners. Now, we're just going to run through some of this here quickly. This is the episode with the black Jesus. When Michael came and found the black Jesus in the closet and he hanged it on the wall. I just want to show you the subtle psychology in this. I know everybody will, most people have seen this. And the message may seem to be obvious. But let's just go through it.
The jail. He's the same dude that got shot
Okay,
5 times.
hold on. All right, man.
Why you can't paint? You can't see. Hey, JJ.
Hey, Mark.
This ain't Marco, Michael.
What you painting there?
Hey, that's the street hustler. Don't you know what today is?
Yeah, Blue Monday, followed by Broke Tuesday, followed by Disastrous Wednesday. From there, the rest of the week go downhill.
You hear that? Blue Monday, Broke Tuesday, Disastrous Wednesday, and then from the day the rest of the week goes downhill. Oh, wow. Don't sound like no good times to me.
Today is the beginning of Black History Week.
Well, Sweet Daddy Williams is black.
But
See, Black History Week, so that's before. That's to show how long ago this was. That's before Black History Month. We're dealing with Black History Week.
you should be painting someone more relevant to Black history.
Relevant. Are you jiving?
Jiving.
Sweet Daddy Williams owns 3 apartment houses, 2 Cadillacs, and
Okay, before we get to that. Jiving, eh?
Lincoln.
Just like the song said.
Today is the beginning of Black History Week.
Well, Sweet Daddy Williams is black.
But you should be painting someone more relevant to Black history.
Relevant. Are you jiving? Sweet Daddy Williams owns 3 apartment houses, 2 Cadillacs, and a Lincoln. Ain't never worked a day in his life and ain't never been to jail. He's the same dude that got shot 5 times and ran 7 miles to the hospital.
5 and 7.
Now, if that ain't black history, I don't know what is.
The Pan-African Council is sponsoring an art show this week. If you had a better painting, you might win a prize.
Well, if I can get Sweet Daddy Williams together, we just may make that scene, Michael. But first, you gotta go downtown and get some art supplies.
How you gonna get out supplies? You don't have any money.
Never bothered Robin Hood.
You better not let Mama hear you say that.
Now you find the picture of
Wow!
Jesus.
Out of sight!
Black Jesus.
This is fantastic. When did you paint this, JJ?
What?
This.
Oh, last week.
What is it?
I call it Black Jesus.
Black Jesus. Now this is what the brothers need. Groovy, super, heavy. Yeah.
Relax, Michael. It's only a painting, not the second coming.
Now hear them kind of statement there. It's only a painting, not the second coming.
I know what the second coming is.
Well, you see, that's the whole vibes, because that's even down to, okay, since we're dealing with the United States, then you have the black conscious Christians, the Nation of Islam, and even amongst us Rastafari. And we always talk about, the Christians, although they say Jesus coming back, a lot of them will catch a heart attack if Jesus come back and he's black, And that's that we do. And he's black. We literally say that. And you hear that reversed in what he said. Come on, Michael. Don't worry, man. It's just a painting. It's not the second coming.
What's happening? Nothing. Hey, Thelma, how you like this? What is it? Don't show your ignorance. This is Black Jesus. Black Jesus, my foot. That's Ned the wino.
Now, one thing I noticed about this episode, that the person that JJ, what's the right term in art? Well, the person he chose as the, I can't find the right word, but there's a word you use when you take someone and you paint them then, as such. So he's painting a black Jesus. He didn't just paint the regular Jesus black, like he chose a person, like he could have chose his father. He could have said, well, look, I'm going to use the bus driver. But there's an individual that is referred to as Ned the wino. That's a drunkard. In fact, the same fella that plays Woody the Wino in Sanford and Son, was seen in one of these episodes portraying the same Ned the Wino. Although this picture of the Black Jesus don't look like that man, but yet still, apparently, this Ned the Wino is the person that JJ used to as his feature as such then, to bring out the Black Jesus image. He's a black man, but he's a drunkard. So what happens now, because he's a drunkard sleeping in the gutter now, you know, it's as if the image of the person that they took to make the picture overshadows the whole understanding that the Christ figure is being painted black. So now, first thing she said is like, you know, like, what is this, or who is it, and whatever. And then she said, Black Jesus, my foot. Now you may feel like, wow, she's dissing the Black Christ. And then she goes on to say, it doesn't clearly say if she have a problem with Black Jesus, you know, but she have a problem with the painting because she's seeing the drunkard that she passed every day lying down in the gutter. Interesting. Let's just assume it wasn't Ned the Wino that Judgy took to paint. Let's just say he just painted someone you cannot recognize, but you could see is a strong, strapping black man that represents the Messiah. What would her response be? Now remember, this is just acting, you know. So those who created the script, I think they honestly had to balance it to make sure that you do not leave this program loving no Black Jesus. You're supposed to still have the idea of Jesus as Jesus, and maybe just a touch of revolutionary in it, as Michael is basically handling that part. But there must be a lot of skepticism in it, which there is, to the point that they needed to bring in a deadbeat character, a wino, a rummy, a vomiting and dropping in the rubbish bin person as the Black Jesus, so it would add to you condemning the painting. That's psychology being played on you, eh? Trust me.
You mean the dude who's always walking up and down the street drinking wine and preaching? They're the wino, better known as the ghetto prophet. Yeah, he's always predicting the end of the world and asking for a dime for some wine so he can die happy.
Which he does every night.
JJ, you sure know how to pick your models, a wino Jesus.
It's only a symbol of Jesus.
Hey, JJ, you should introduce him to the exhibit.
No way. Now, Sweet Daddy Williams here is one of a kind. Just a few finishing touches, and he gonna be ready for Black History.
Sure is a shame to keep this in the closet. Hey, since both are just symbols of Jesus, a Black family should have a Black symbol.
If Mama sees that there, she gonna kill you. Jesus may have your soul, but Mama gonna have your behind.
Everybody knows what behind is, right?
Well, of course, that means he's going to get spanked.
Obviously.
So here comes Mama now.
Go on now, baby.
Y'all put that magazine down and get in that kitchen and clean it out.
Hi, Mama.
That's another conscious woman too, eh?
The mother?
Yeah, what's her name again?
Esther.
Esther Rowley.
Yes,
Yeah,
Esther
man.
Rowley.
Yeah, she's you know what I mean?
She doesn't look like Esther.
No, not that Esther. Yeah, she plays Florida Evans, but in real life she has a certain level of consciousness too. I know she narrated a program we were watching once. I think it's about slavery, and then of course we all know the father, James Evans.
Also known as John Amos.
Right, John Amos.
John Amos, the
Yeah.
one that played adult Kunti Kinte.
Okay, right. He played the part of Kunti Kente, so, and I think in the new Kunti Kente, he had a lot to do with it, to the new roots. I don't know if he came on screen, but I think he definitely played a big part in that movie, where it be behind the scenes. So the point I'm making is, you know, we're dealing with relatively conscious people. I can't say about JJ and as I said, Ralph Carter up to this day, we're dealing with people that understand the struggle. So even when they're acting here making $10,000 a night, kind of cashing in and I mind them going on. So, you know, but they understood the struggle. You see. So it's very mystic. Now here she comes in now.
How's things down in the laundry room?
Well, I had a chat with Princess Grace and Elizabeth Taylor. The princess was rinsing her husband's shorts, and Liz was waiting for her diamonds to dry. Now move out of my way. I got work to do.
But, Mom, what about the...
Honey, why do you keep jumping up in my face? I know what you look like. Now move.
So she sees the picture now.
Well, I hope the space lab is out of the way because I am just about to go into orbit.
Okay, now. Now, I don't think she picked up the Ned the Wino thing yet. But the white Jesus come off the wall. There's a white Jesus and the black one gone. Okay. Alright, now the response says a lot to me. Because, okay, what it shows, and it's just the reality of the time, and you may say you cannot blame the people. I'm not blaming nobody. I'm just showing you how severe the reality of the time is. The reality of the time is that the fella on the wall that they used to have next to John Kennedy, of course I'm speaking of the painting of Jesus, was not just a painting. That was the Son of the Almighty. That wasn't just painting. That's the Son of the Almighty. That's how it is. So when we say grace and we pray in the night, we look to that painting. That painting came down and was replaced by another painting. Whether it be Ned the Wino or not, it was a black man in the same apparel with the same Jesus sign that Jesus does with his hand and all of that. So you could see that this is a black Messiah figure. Now, there wasn't the case of, you know, I prefer the other one, you know, or, this is interesting. No, she dropped her basket and said that she was about to go out into space. You know, that's how upset she was to see her Jesus gone and replaced with this. To me, although the actor or actress may not have the same vibes, but what is being portrayed here to the audience, to me, that is heavy.
I don't have to ask who hung this here, Michael Evans.
No, listen.
But before I hang you in its place.
Before I hang you. Before I hang you. Oh, man. In its place, and she has a thing around her neck that look like she done get a hang already. You see there? Oh, a scarf. Yeah, reset it all and feel at the same time.
Why?
Mama, it's just a symbol of Jesus.
Well, hello, Symbol, and goodbye.
JJ hated him.
Don't finger me, Michael. I had him in the closet where he wasn't performing no miracles for nobody.
Mama, couldn't we at least let Black Jesus hang alongside?
Forget it. The only Jesus I know is him, and the one thing he don't need is a partner.
Mama, how do we know Jesus wasn't black? He could have been from the lost tribe of Israel. They were supposed to be black.
I bet they were. If ever people were lost, we're it.
No, that's an interesting statement there too. I mean, that's good.
If anybody was lost, we are it.
And in reality, well, Michael is saying the lost people of Israel are the black people, which some people are saying are the Falashas. But as you know, the biblical land of Israel, from the river Euphrates to the Great Sea. So black people in general, the darker complexion, the people with the darker complexion on this planet, in general, are the Israelites. You know, no too much a lost tribe, and no, we know where we are, true Israelites. But anyway, the statement was made, and it was very clear to me.
This picture has been in my family for as long as I can remember.
That ugly thing.
When I was a baby.
Hold on, before that.
I look like a devil.
What that
demon.
ugly picture there, man? Watch his face.
What?
I
wonder if it's Satan's twin.
I hear you.
This picture has been in my family for as long as I can remember.
As long as
When
Satan
I was a baby, I don't know what I saw first. My mama, my papa, or this Jesus. Now, he's the one I know and love. So let's close the subject. Jesus was black. The Bible would have said so.
But it does say so.
What are you talking about?
I read about it. It's in Revelation chapter 1, verse 14. I read about it in Muhammad's speech. It says, his hair is like wool, and his eyes are like flame of fire.
Well, Lord have mercy. It sure do say that, don't it?
And see, Mama, look at that hair, like wool, ain't it? And look at them eyes, red like fire.
Yeah, they sure is. Judy, how come you decided to paint this?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I just had divine thoughts on my mind.
And for JJ, that's a first.
What, having divine thoughts?
No, having a mind.
And if you notice too, his eyes are red. The Bible does say that. The Bible says red with wine too. Red with wine. Teeth white with milk. And what happened here now, interestingly, as you could see, it's softening her down like, wow. She never looked into that. And then James is going to come in. I don't think we're going to go through all of that, But James came in defending the picture too. I think even, what was the woman named? The one that always come in, Willona. I think she came into, so the black Jesus had a certain level of defense or support, let me say, behind it. But at the same time, there was still that level of strong denial that was emanating to the program. I mean, the program could not really come to an end, as I said, and you walking out in there and you saying, yeah, man, wow, I'm glad that we learned that Jesus is black. Because it still came down like a comedy, but at the same time, the wino fella still, because when she realized it was the wino, that's the mother, all the softness disappeared. Like, yeah, as if you were mocking her savior. So she came back on the attack again. But I was just highlighting that so the people could understand how these sitcoms have a lot to do with even the way we think. Let's listen to this one here.
The Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons.
We're gonna move on it.
Yeah, in comparison to
nowhere.
Okay.
Well, we're moving on now to the side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on to the side. We finally got a piece of the pie.
Interesting.
Fish don't fry in the kitchen.
Tell me.
Beans don't burn on the grill.
Sure.
Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Forever moving on up
Bad tune in.
to the side, to a deal.
Okay, what was that? Yeah, man, we rocking in here, boy. Yeah, that's a terrible tune.
He rocking too on the bed.
I see. And one of the things that stand out here too is even if you check the first episode, one of the things that stand out here is the what do you call it? The interracial marriage with Tom Willis and the wife there. I can't remember her name. Them things slipping me there.
Helen Willis.
Helen Willis. Wow, you're really into that, isn't it? And Tom and Helen, white and black couple, and even they spoke about the sort of, I think they got even threatened. I don't mean that as on stage, I mean in real life. people would threaten both of them, saying that if they continue to play that part, because at that time, interracial marriage wasn't really accepted like it's accepted today. I mean, people were totally against it, both black and white at that time. In fact, to be honest, more white than black. You know, because some blacks wouldn't mind marrying into the white world. But at the same time, whites were protecting their own riches and all of these different things. So a rich white fella and his son wanted to go and marry a black girl. Oh, he had nothing to do with that. So it was very hazy at that time, but today it's a bit different. You know, it is something that is, I mean, if you don't accept that, people see you as strange. But basically, I would say that the Jefferson, more than anything else, embedded that into the minds of the people in general. But anyway, we give thanks, you know. We just thought that we would have shared that. Time flies fast when you're having fun people.
F-U-N.
No, F-O-N, the fun from West Africa.
Fun is F-O-N.
And fun is F-U-N, and fund, which is finance, is F-U-N-D. So we definitely give thanks, you know, again, the whole television, live vision, that's what it's all about, man.
Telling you lies through the vision.
Yes, and even from the days of fairy tale, folly days, and nursery crimes, we've been showing you from even them times and early works how important it is to look for the subliminal messages that are definitely in the movies, you know. Some just different. I think they said have a black James Bond, a black woman James Bond. I don't know how, I mean, like, wow. And the new Lion King, I think they're going to release this Lion King tomorrow. The Lion King, you know, man. The Lion King. It's the 23rd of July coming up. Entering into the Leo cycle. We're going to do a quick thing on that whole thing there, you know? Might just throw that on the YouTube, make people understand what's going on. The Lion King, man, Kadamawi, Damawe, Haile Selassie the First. Earthly coming up now, you know. We celebrate this earthly right now, and now they're launching the Lion King.
The hike for July 21st?
Yeah, we're doing a hike this Sunday to Greencastle Hill, Mount Anu. 3 p.m. sharp, you know, we meet right there at the Ebenezer gas station. And of course, you know, we hike up to the the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, you know, Greencastle Hill, where we see all the megaliths aligned with the movements of the stars. You've been there, I'm sure.
Yes.
Of course.
I've been there every time.
I hear you. And of course, you know, it's only $25 for hikers. Children definitely come free.
Free?
Yeah, man, definitely. Nothing really free now, but it's paid for. So anyway, give thanks again.
Give thanks for the life-given keeper of life. Empire Selassie the First.
Yes, and of course, as I always say, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history,
the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery.
And it takes some realize to realize the real lies that are amongst us.
Holy Manuel I, Rastafari.
Now this is what I want you to do. For all those who are not subscribers to the Shock of the Hour, I need you to email me at priestisaac27@gmail.com, because for a limited time only, I will be offering, listen to this, 2 free weeks of the Shock of the Hour. So if you're not a subscriber to the Shock, of course you've listened to the Shock, but if you're not receiving the Shock of the Hour every evening in your inbox via the email, then you need to contact me and say, Priest Isaac, I would like to get the 2-week subscription. That is the free subscription for the Shock of the Hour. And we will send you, email you each and every evening after the Shock of the Hour, that episode specifically that was recorded. Remember, the Shock of the Hour is a program that comes to you every evening. I'm talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And of course, as I said, after the program, you get the recording of the program in your inbox, in your email the next day. That is the shock of the hour. And of course, it is a monthly subscription of only $50 United States currency. But I am offering you for a limited time 2 weeks subscription free of cost for the shock of the hour. And of course, after the 2 strongs or 2 weeks as they call it is expired, it is up to you if you'd like to continue with the shock of the hour subscription. So to get 2 whole strongs, 2 whole weeks specifically as they call it, of the shock of the hour free, no charge whatsoever, and you can full joy the nightly program that you ain't gonna hear on YouTube and you're not gonna get on Facebook, just definitely contact us. Priest Isaac, PRIESTISAAC 27 at gmail.com. Blessed love. Blessed love to everyone. Let me ask you a question now. Do you have a copy of our digital electronic book, The True Biblical Land of Israel? Now, if you do not have a copy of The True Biblical Land of Israel, to get a copy of The True Biblical Land of Israel, all you have to do is email us, priestisaac27@gmail.com. This is the book that was once a theological paper. This is the book that we have issued the challenge on. That challenge being, if anyone can dispute and refute our facts, that according to the biblical description, the geography of the Bible, according to the information coming out of that specific book, the biblical land of Israel, again, described in the Bible, is Africa plus Arabia. And as I said, within the pages of the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel, we give the facts, we give all the references as it relates to the narrative of the Bible. And of course, we still bring in some archaeology and anthropology. But of course, the core of the discussion is coming from the scriptures. So this is why the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel, is not a book to try to validate the Bible. It is a book that proves that according to the Bible, whatever the origin is, or wherever it came from, or whoever originally wrote it, that's not the point. The point that according to this well-respected book, the Bible, the land of Israel is Africa plus Arabia. So as I said, our ebook, all you have to do is email us and we ship it to you through the email. You find it in your inbox right away. And of course, your payments can be made right away as well, as we utilize the PayPal, and the PayPal is the same as our email, priestisaac27@gmail.com. And let me just say as well, for a very limited time, and we'll tell you when the time has met its limit, we will be offering the book Anu, Ancient and Modern, with the biblical land of Israel. Listen to me good. So when you buy or purchase the biblical land of Israel, we would give you a free copy of the book Anu. Now the value of both is $20 each United States currency. So you'll be literally getting a $40 value for just purchasing the biblical land of Israel. And the same goes for Anu. When you purchase the book Anu, Ancient and Modern, we will give you a free copy of the True Biblical Land of Israel. And listen to me, I'm not done yet. And when you purchase them both, you would get a free copy again. When you purchase them both now, you're buying the 2 of them, we give you a free copy of The Night of the Black Tiger, which is not a book, at least it's not in book form as yet, but it is our more recent DVD video documentary, The Night of the Black Tiger, the divinity of Marcus, Messiah Garvey. And I can go on and on because, you know, we have so many other things to offer. And the point really is, once you shop with us, we always have some gift to give you. That's really the point. So as I said, the True Biblical Land of Israel, As I said, this is the book that is the challenge that has gone out, where we have just one university at the moment that has even responded to the challenge. So that means that there must be something in the book that cannot be denied. You need to get your copy of the book, and as I said, payments can be made through the PayPal as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Blessed love.